Is everybody hearing me? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. İyi akşamlar, Istanbul. I hope I pronounced it in the right way. Tonight, I will tell you the story about lighting the new headquarters of a very big German company, ThyssenKrupp. And this project was my baby. I was the project manager for it, and the title of my lecture is Corporate Lighting Design, and you will see why I call it this way. The story I will tell you is not only the story about lighting the new headquarters of a big company. It's much more the story about a close and successful collaboration between an innovative client, a strong team of architects, and us, the lighting designers. It's a big honor for me to be part of the first lighting design conference here in Istanbul. It's such an exciting city and glimmering and glittering in the night sky. And I hope I will have time tonight, after this event, to enjoy this. But now I would like to invite you to follow me more than 2,000 kilometers northwest to Essen, a city in Germany with 570,000 inhabitants. And it's located in the biggest metropolitan region in Germany with more than 10 million inhabitants. Okay, such a mega city like Istanbul, I can't impress you with such numbers. But here are some more. It does not work. I have to go this way. With almost 200,000 employees and more than 670 companies worldwide, ThyssenKrupp is one of the biggest steel producers in the world. They are best known for escalators, elevators, and their steel technology. As you can see in this aerial view, the design of the architects JSVD from Cologne and Jacques Morel from Paris is that they grouped around the linear water basin several buildings like a campus, an open structure, an open campus. You can see here the centerpiece, the building called Q1. You can see the forum building where the company receives guests and clients. You will see. You can see here. You can see here the administration buildings, and as you can see here, there will follow several other buildings in the next years. The new campus creates a working world for more than 2,000 employees. When designing the architecture and lighting of Sorry, it does not work. Now, when designing the architecture and lighting of the company's headquarters, we could not avoid looking at the identity of the client. The new campus should reflect the self-conception of the company of ThyssenKrupp. That means the architecture and the lighting design should be a symbol of the company's culture, of their philosophy, notions like transparency, openness, dialogue, knowledge sharing, innovation, and of course sustainability and energy savings is very important. By creating a corporate architectural design and a corporate lighting design, the new campus should communicate ThyssenKrupp's mission and philosophy and their objectives and their capabilities, and of course their products. The main design-defining elements of the new quarter, of the new campus, comprise innovative materials that come from the product palette of the company itself. Beside elevators, escalators, and the sun shading system, which I will explain you later on, for the main building Q1, for the centerpiece building, which I showed you in the aerial view, ThyssenKrupp still produced more than 10,000 square meters of flat-rolled steel, which you can see here. Flat-rolled steel with a special innovative coating for the new campus. So the whole mission of the corporate lighting design was not only about lighting the new headquarters of the company, it was much more a matter of staging the company's products. As you can see here, this is in the executive casino restaurant, and integrated in the wall are waved steel panels made by ThyssenKrupp, of course, which we illuminated with LED lines. This is one of my first sketches, and it shows the overriding architectural design principle, which is applied to all buildings on the campus. It's the idea of cutting out volumes or voids out of solid cubes. This is the Q1 building, the main centerpiece, in the campus. And as you can see here, the architects started with arranging those solid cubes in an urban approach, and then they cut out these voids, and in the end they had these cut out surfaces, which you can see in the next picture. Sorry. The result of that is that all new buildings are L-shaped, are composed of L-shaped elements enclosing a shared central space, the core. You can see it here. And when I switch to the next picture, you can see the cut-out surfaces. These cut-out surfaces were all clad with the flat-rolled steel material produced by ThyssenKrupp itself. On the right here, you can see the different shell materials. The principle shell and core is the principle that the architects called it shell and core principle. And here you can see the different materials: the sun shading system, vertical slats, perforated stainless steel sheets, and the flat-rolled steel panels you can see here. The design principle of voids cut out of a solid cube is most apparent in the Q1 building, and this is one of my first sketches I did to understand this principle. My sketch shows all the cut-out surfaces. I marked them yellow, and all these surfaces that I already mentioned, are clad with this flat-rolled steel from ThyssenKrupp. And by showing this, or by understanding this, the main lighting idea was born. We had to underline the sculptural approach of the architecture, and second, we had to stage the product used in this cutout surfaces. And this idea shows our first visualization on the right. The flat-rolled steel was used as cladding for all the walls in the atrium of the building Q1, and in the forum building, and in all the other buildings, and in some parts even for the exterior facade areas. This is an overview of all the lighting elements in the building Q1 to fulfill this idea of illuminating the cut-out surfaces. As you can see here, yellow marked, we have the atrium walls. The ceilings are clad with the flat-rolled steel material. For example, we used recessed in-ground luminaires to illuminate these walls and to illuminate the ceilings. And in the ground floor, we had to implement lighting channels to illuminate this material. The next section shows the positions of all in-ground uplights which illuminate the atrium ceilings. You can see it in this section here, and the layout principle. And they are all clad, these walls and the ceiling are all clad with the material I mentioned. Of course, we had to find the right light distribution and the right layout, and several mock-ups led us to finally it led us to such an arrangement. In the end, we chose strongly shielded, as you can see here, we chose strongly shielded in-ground lights to avoid distracting light points and glare, and to provide the best visual comfort. This is me and my colleagues and me here in the atrium of the building Q1. And during the construction period, my colleagues and I, we traveled several times to the site in order to guarantee the precise execution of our lighting ideas. Here we even did not hesitate to climb up 50 meters to adjust the projectors underneath the glass roof in the atrium of building Q1. And now I show you the result. On the right you can see the projectors. You can see the steel cladding all over in the atrium. And on the left you can see the main view out to the water basin I will show you later on. In the following picture you can also see very well the footbridges stretching across the atrium. And here we implemented custom-made handrail lighting, which I will explain you. In close collaboration with the architects and the client, we did several mock-ups to find out the best interaction between LED, profile and glazing. We tried different satin finishes, we tried different inclinations of LED profiles to avoid glare from the lower levels. And this is me with my colleague trying out several samples of LED profiles. Finally, the architects and us and the client, of course, we decided to leave the glazing transparent. Which you can see here, in order to avoid a too strong emphasis of the horizontal bridges in the atrium. And again, this is the result. Here you can see the handrail lighting, providing very homogeneous light on the bridges. And on the right picture, you can see the brightly lit lift portals in the atrium. The client wanted us to put a special attention on the main entrance of the building Q1. Recess mounted in the canopy are high power LED lines in an irregular layout, applying directional light to the floor. You can see this layout in our sketch here and the result on the left. The reflection from the ground illuminates the bottom view, which is clad, of course, with the product of ThyssenKrupp here, the same product as we used in the atrium, as the architects used in the atrium. And the graphical layout clearly marks the direction of the circulation in this entrance. and gives a sense of dynamics to this prominent entrance. At nightfall, all the lighting elements give a gentle glow to the interior steel cladding. And I will switch on the light for this. Here you can see the result. And as you can see, we did not light up the buildings like monuments. We wanted to allow the building to light up its surroundings from the inside. At the Forum building on the right, this is the Forum building, ThyssenKrupp welcomes its guests and clients and customers. And as for the main building, Q1, we developed an image for the building Q2 showing all the lighting elements to fulfill the idea of illuminating the cut-out surfaces. The staff canteen on the ground floor, you can see the staff canteen on the ground floor, and I will explain this idea in the next picture. This picture shows an early sketch of the lighting principle for the staff canteen in the building Q2. The back wall, which you can see here, and the front part of the ceiling are clad with the flat-rolled steel material, the golden steel panels. The back cladding we illuminated with a grace lighting channel, and the front part of the ceiling with an indirect cove lighting. And for the tables, which you can see here, we designed custom-made pendant luminaires, made of steel, of course, with a narrow beam light distribution to mark the tables. To find out about the interaction between the different flat-rolled steel panels and the grace lighting channel, we did several mock-ups together with the client and with the architects. And this image on the left shows one of these mock-ups, and it shows samples with different types of surfaces. You can see 4 different types of surfaces, 4 different panels, and they have different thicknesses. Of course, we had to deal with money, with costs. And the third panel you can see here, was very thin, with a very thin material. And our merciless grazing light showed the wavy appearance of the sample, which did not please at all. So in the end, the chosen material is the second one in this picture. And it owes its appearance to a special multi-layer coating, which ThyssenKrupp developed itself. And the color they gave it was pearl metallic gold. And thanks to special pigments of this material, the color of this coating, the color shade of the surface changes depending on light conditions and the angle from which it is viewed. And again, I show you the result. This is the staff canteen. In the background you can see the wall with the grazing light channel. And as you can see, thanks to the narrow beam light distribution of the pendant luminaires, they do not disturb the grace lighting effect of the back wall. This combination lends volume and depth to the space and conveys an inviting character when viewing into the building from outside. Here you can see the staff canteen with the backlit wall. It's a nice effect here. To guarantee the design principle in the huge communication zone and conference lobby in the building Q2, we had to develop special downlight solutions. we wanted to make sure that the luminaires provided the light distribution we needed, and that they fit very well in the architect's design language. On the left, you can see the lighting plan, first sketch of the entrance lobby and conference lobby of the forum building, Q2. And ceiling recessed are downlights and downlight wall washer, and they illuminate, they flood the wall claddings here. And in those areas with a glass roof, here and here, we implemented a custom designed luminaire with asymmetrical light distribution, which you can see here. The first sketches on the right, and the prototype, which we implemented in the areas with a glass roof. This is the lobby of the forum building Q2. And the forum building Q2 is, as I already mentioned, is a place of conversation, and thus above all a place of communication. Beside project work and education, this is where the company receives guests and clients. And the spacious lobby was a very important element for such an architecture, and we recommended the architect to implement skylights which fill the lobby with ample amounts of daylight, which you can see here. In the casino restaurant, the company invites guests and clients for dinners, for conversations, to make money. And depending on the event and on the occasion, the lighting elements, which you can see here, the lighting elements should be able to provide various light atmospheres. For this, we added a special custom-made steel lighting element, which you can see here. Above the tables, we decided to install large pendant ring chandeliers with direct and indirect lighting components, which can be switched and dimmed separately. You can see these chandeliers in this picture. Oops, in this picture. And the two components, indirect lighting and direct lighting, are separately switchable and dimmable. Chest-high partition walls, which you can see here, and ceiling suspended filigree metal curtains. I don't know if you can see it. There are these metal curtains. They always group two tables at a time, and give structure to the length, to the long space. And integrated with the furniture here are RGB LED luminaires, which can add color dynamic light to the shiny metal curtains, if desired. And at the ceiling, a light cove traces the outline of the spatial elements. And this is the result. The external view of the building Q2. And now I switch on the light. Here you can see the staff canteen and the casino restaurant, which I showed you in the slide before. The entrance hall and lobby. And again, as seen on the Q1 building, we could create an interior lighting illumination that simultaneously determines the building's external impact. And again, the water basin, you could have seen this on the first picture of the Q1. The water basin acts as a reflecting mirror. Behind the facade on the left here, the building accommodates an event hall, a multifunctional hall, for events with up to 1,000 persons. For this space, we designed 110 special customized luminaires. Here's the design principle, the layout. And every component or every luminaire has two components, again, diffuse and direct lighting, and they are combined in one lighting fixture. This is how it looks, this multifunctional hall. And again, both components can be switched and dimmed separately to adapt to the various functions of the event hall. There is a very special room in the building Q2, in the forum building. It's the room of silence, and it deserves special attention. The room of silence is a place of silence, of course, and reflection. And this was very interesting because the client's desire for more communication not only relates to professional communication and conversations in the immediate working environment. It also refers to the boundaries between private life and work, situations for which the normal working surroundings or environments does not provide a room. The room of silence is intended as a space for meditation, for introspection, for retreat, and offers the possibility for dialogues on small and great questions of life. Here you can see the first rendering of the architects, and this is during the construction period on the right. I think this matches very well. Visitors find themselves in the space with a white ceiling and with white surfaces, wall surfaces. And what's interesting, the architects, they had the idea to put a large cube floating in its center. And the cube obviously had to be the center of our lighting concept. We proposed the architects to play with the clean and white outer surfaces of the cube, and a special interior. We recommended a special interior surface and dynamic light inside the cube. Its inner surface, it's only perceptible when one is directly standing underneath the cube, is fully clad with titanium shingles made by ThyssenKrupp. And we emphasize this special surface and the play of shapes through a luminous LED ceiling. RGB LEDs form a pixel matrix that can display an unlimited diversity of static and dynamic lighting scenes. I show you the shingles, the titanium shingles. At least I try to show. Here it is. And my favorite idea was to create a blue sky with slowly moving clouds, as it is the room of silence. Yeah, and as it is the room of silence, I won't say nothing for the next slides. Just enjoy watching, and I'll drink a bit water. This is the RGB LED light ceiling, luminous ceiling. Okay, back to work. On the right on this picture, first I have to switch on the light. On the right on this picture, you can divine the supervisory boardroom with a luminaire which I designed and which I'm very proud of. as the client desired to show his will and capability for innovation in the conference areas, we developed a lighting element meeting this objective, showing innovation. This element became a modular LED luminous ceiling for all conference rooms on the campus. This is in the headquarter building, one of the conference rooms, and you can see one of the first layouts. This is one LED luminous ceiling module, and they are grouped to this arrangement. These are my first design sketches, which show in a very simple way how the basic idea of the LED luminous ceiling. The LED is placed in a certain distance from a special diffuser, and due to the quality of the diffuser, one part of the directional light will be let through, and the other part will be diffused. Usually, luminous ceilings in conference rooms all over the world only provide a diffuse and often tiresome lighting. And the combination of diffuse and directional light produced by one flat module that can be arranged in several ways was new. So the LED lighting module allows for a vital and comfortable light atmosphere. As you can imagine, the design process implied the development of various samples in order to obtain first the appropriate set and frosting of the cover, the number of LEDs, the quality of the LEDs, their spacing, how the housing would look like, and these are some design steps of this development. And it also has been very important. How the luminous ceiling would appear when switched off. To avoid disturbing reflections during daytime, we chose a matte surface. It was very important. We had a lot of discussions with the architects, but in the end we decided this matte surface you can see here. And when switched on, the modules create both diffuse and powerful light, direct light, on the conference tablet without glaring. In the supervisory boardroom in the forum building Q2, the arrangement of the LED luminous ceiling modules follows the interior design of the architects. They wanted us to outline or to copy the arrangement of the conference table. And of course it's dimmable, this LED luminous ceiling. A strong testimony to the client's materials capabilities is the sunshade system for the building Q1, which I will explain you in the following. The architects developed an innovative and highly efficient sun shading system. This is the sun shading system of the Q1 building. The sun shading elements consist of approximately 400,000 horizontal stainless steel louvers, which are made by ThyssenKrupp itself, of course. They control daylight and protect from overheating the building. Even when it's closed, the sun shading system, it directs natural light into the interior spaces. The rotatable elements, you can see here how they can rotate. Oops, you can see here how they can rotate. The rotatable elements represent an optimized system that combines the advantages of horizontal louvers, allowing light to enter, with those of vertical rotatable louvers, which provide unrestricted views. Data on the seasonal course of the sun are programmed in the control system, and a weather station is located on the roof of the headquarter of the main building Q1, and it feeds the system with current weather data. So the system automatically adjusts to the position of the sun keeping direct sunlight out while allowing enough light to come in into the building to keep the offices bright. The yellow arrows, which you can see here, demonstrate the direction of the sunbeams, and you can see in this this image the reaction of the building's facade here. This is me inspecting the mock-up of the sun shading system with the architects, and of course the idea of the sun shading system came from the architects, but they asked us to analyze the daylight for the whole building and also for the sun shading system. Here you can see on the right, you can see that the slats are mounted on vertical shafts, and the shafts rotate to adjust the slats to the position of the sun. As you can see in this next following picture, views from the inside to the landscape are still guaranteed, even when the shades are closed, and plus the efficient control of daylight causes very little need for artificial lighting during the day. And now from daylight to exterior lighting. This is one of my first sketches for the exterior lighting concept, and it shows that we attached great importance to not interfering with the building's illumination emanating from inside outwards. We wanted to avoid distracting and glaring light points and develop special light distributions. This is the site plan of the 17-hectare campus area, showing our exterior lighting concept. You can see the light auras around every building. This is the centerpiece Q1, the forum, the administration buildings, and the water basin. And these light auras were very important components for the whole lighting concept. Without these auras, we would not have enough light on the whole campus. So they were a very important component. For such a huge area, we had to create a design family of exterior luminaires, fulfilling all of our demands on the various light distributions, and matching at the same time, of course, the architect's design language. All luminaires, this is very important, are strongly shielded luminaires. We develop pole lights with excellent glare control and a special light distribution which align both main paths. Other pole lights of the family, you can see here and here, illuminated the crosswalks or provided the street lighting around the campus. And for the smaller paths, we had pollard luminaires, which you can see here. This picture on the left shows the avenue of the world of the worlds. There's 50 trees with 50 tree species from 5 continents. And again, I will switch on the light to show you one of our custom-made pole lights here. You can see that there's no interference with the lighting emanating from inside outwards, the lighting of the buildings emanating from inside outwards. And they are without glare. This is a central view from one of the smaller paths crossing the water basin. On the left, you can see the pole lighting fixtures and the light distribution. On the right, the avenue of the worlds. And to give you an impression, the water basin has an overall length of 235 meters. In order to mark the transition from land to water and to make the geometry visible at night, custom-designed LED profiles, which you can see here, custom-designed LED profiles trace all edges of the water basin. These water-resistant LEDs follow the complete outline of the pool with an overall length of 1 kilometer. And we also designed the lighting concept for the underground parking. Here you can see the underground parking, and we developed a multifunctional channel housing luminaires, the sprinkler system, the loudspeaker system, and all the cabling. And where the skylights, these are the skylights on the campus for the underground parking, where the skylights provide enough light, the lighting system can be switched off partially. We could convince the architects, and this is also a testimony of the close collaboration. We could convince the architects and the client to implement a bright floor, which is very quite unusual for parking, as you can see here. But thanks to this, the underground parking distinguishes itself by a friendly and bright atmosphere. So this was a very important point for the whole lighting concept, that the floor was bright. In order to mark the entries of the different buildings in the underground parking, luminous walls brighten up the underground gates, and this is with a very high luminous level, which is a very good support for orientation in the underground parking. And even for my little daughter, the guiding effect of the lighting concept worked very well, as you can see here. To conclude, this is me, my boss and me, at the Light Fair in Philadelphia. And as already mentioned, the lighting design for ThyssenKrupp has won 5 international awards so far, and I'm very happy that I could share this project with you tonight here in Istanbul. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much.